Jiro Kondo. I'm a faculty member in the finance department. And at Desautels, I teach a course on venture capital and startup financing, along with a course on applied corporate finance. In addition to the courses I teach, I'm also involved in some experiential initiatives that we have in the faculty, namely Desautels Capital Management, which is our student investment fund at both the undergraduate and master's levels. And I'm also involved in a summer program that we run in partnership with a university in Israel called the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. The program itself is called the McGill Israel Startup Summer Study Trip, and there we focus on learning about both the Canadian and Israeli startup ecosystems, try to learn lessons from both places to improve the ecosystems and innovation activity in both regions. Desautels Capital Management is the student investment fund in the Faculty of Management. We're differentiated from other student investment funds because we are our own legal entity. So basically, in addition to deciding how we invest the capital of the fund, we're also involved with basically raising capital from potential investors and also doing all the important legal paperwork associated with running a fund. And within the fund, I'm one of the 2 faculty supervisors. And currently, the main thing I do is I supervise each of the students in the fund. They're divided by sectors, and I, in particular, help the technology, healthcare, and consumer sectors to really kind of help learn about the sectors, give them some guidance on the right way to do fundamental research on companies in each of these industries, and to also importantly think about how you present the research that you do in a way that has an impact on your audience in both an internal presentation setting, if you're presenting things within your firm, hypothetically, or in an external setting when you present in front of clients or potential clients. One of the things that I prioritize in my teaching is really to bring in concrete examples from practitioners. Kind of that approach to teaching really stems from having developed the venture capital and startup finance course that I teach at Desautels. This is really an area where like the bread and butter academic tools that have been developed in academia like aren't really well suited for the types of problems we face there, because a lot of kind of academic solutions to problems are get a bunch of data set and build mathematical models with that data set. You don't have a lot of data when it comes to startups and more generally private companies. And so in order to kind of deliver useful content to students, I really had to go and talk to practitioners who have that experience of doing it a different and more hands-on way. And so I try to kind of incorporate those lessons from practitioners in the classroom. Another thing that I try to do is I really try to focus on the process of learning, although I would say my peers do that as well, and really to kind of give students a sense of not just like what they know, okay, these are the tools, this is how you use them, but also what they don't know, because no model is perfect. And so you need to be aware of the blind spots of a model, the assumptions it makes, and have this habit of asking yourself the question, is this model well suited for this environment? And if the answer is no, you need to be cautious in using the model, and you need to start being creative and opportunistic in trying to find alternative ways to approach problem solving. And so maybe like a more flexible and adaptive way to learning. We have like so many wonderful interactions with students that like it's almost there's an innumerable number of really impressive experiences that you end up having with the people you're fortunate to work with. McGill students are so talented, driven, curious, and good people. And so and to be honest, also like it's never been a better time to be a professor as well, because with tools like LinkedIn, I can keep track of way more students after they graduate than any professor could have in the past. And so I've seen so many instances of really like wonderful things that students have done in their careers. I have personally a soft spot for startup entrepreneurship, so where you kind of create something from nothing that hasn't been done in exactly the same way before. So I would say it's startup entrepreneurs that have kind of impressed me the most, just given my own personal preferences. But it's really Like, there's so many really wonderful instances of seeing people thrive, happy, doing impressive things, changing the world. It's really one of the great privileges of being a McGill professor. We just get to work with so many great, talented people.